You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Today's guest is here for a number of reasons. But the last time he was here, or one of the last times he was here, we had this conversation. So before I ask you these questions, again, given that we're no longer friends, I don't check in with you outside of this podcast space. So, how have you been doing? Not that I care, but I guess it's podcast polite to at least check in on my co-host, my host, my boss, the person telling me what to do. So, how you doing, Mr. Touche?
This guy got all the jokes early. Like this is the first quarter and the jokes coming in, man. Man, I'm cooling, bro. I wasn't sure what we're gonna do today. You know what I'm saying? But just I'm still not sure as I'm thinking about it. I'm like, all right. So y'all remember Kendrick Norton for the Miami Dolphins? Kendrick Norton was the Miami Dolphin that he was a part of the team, I want to say 2 to 3 years ago.
2019.
It was a 2019 Dolphins team, and he was trying to make the team. And he went to University of Miami. And he was the player that got into the car accident. And he ended up getting his arm amputated after the car accident. And I ran into him today. Like, I was in the gym, something that Kadeem might not ever know about. And I was in the gym and I see him working out. I'm like, that's Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really sure of his last name. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was Orton or Horton, you know what I'm saying? And I approached him and I'm like, hey, bro, is your name Kendrick? And he was like, yeah, my name Kendrick. And, we're in the gym. He's working out. I'm working out. I kind of didn't want to take a picture. You know what I'm saying? And, the obvious is the obvious. I don't know what's polite. You know what I'm saying? He's missing the arm. He only has one arm. You know what I'm saying? But he's working out. And I'm like, this dude is still working out. You feel me? And I think it's dope. But so I met him today. Chopped it up with him. And I just really want to share out with the podcast, man. Like, we still collecting friends of the podcast. There's no off season for Go Time Dolphins.
Yeah, when people say, how do we get these friends of the podcast? And I say, just through life, Charlie will meet someone. People never believe me. I'm like, no, seriously, that's how it happens. But yeah, before we introduce our guest, do you remember a boxer called Julius Francis?
Maybe.
British heavyweight boxer. Fought Mike Tyson back in the day. That only went one way. When you fight Iron Mike Tyson back in the day, there's only one winner, and it's not the guy from Britain. But there's a video that's going viral at the moment. I'm not quite sure if you've seen it, but there's this guy is like outside this venue and he's hyping at security, saying, "What are you gonna do?" All that kind of stuff. And him and his boys are like, calling this black bodyguard, "You fat," all this kind of stuff. And they're screwing up some little bodyguards. And then the guy turns around and the bodyguard, one punch, knocks him out clean. That bodyguard was Julius Francis. This guy didn't know he would get angry to a heavyweight boxer. So when I say to anyone, regardless of weight class, how long are you lasting in the ring or in a cage with a professional fighter? Anyone that turns around and said they can get 5 strikes, it's not happening. Now, obviously, Francis is a big guy, weight discrepancy, all that kind of stuff. But Mr. Charlie Touche, listen, I love you like a brother. Like, we ride together, we die together, but we live to fight another day. Dude, you are not lasting. You want mute as well.
That's not how you say the quote, bro.
Dude, you are not lasting anything more than a minute against a professional boxer or MMA fighter at your weight level. It's not happening.
Bro,
It's
that's
not
not
happening.
how. Bro, say the quote the right way, bro.
Listen. I'm saying the quote the Go Time Dolphins way. That's all that matters.
That's terrible. Hey, listen, we got a guest on the show, man. Damn, somebody had a fight with a boxer that fought Mike Tyson. That's already.
It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fight. He squared up to him and he laid him out. That literally Friday, you got knocked the F out. I'll send it to you after. Knocked out clean.
Listen, we about to bring on today's guest, man. I like it a lot when dude comes on the show. This is the third time he's come on the show, and once you start coming around the show this often, you don't have to ask us, hey, you can pour your own drinks. You can just go get your own drinks. You feel me? So shout out to Reach PLC sports journalist Charlie Wilson.
Thank you. It's some introduction, man. I appreciate it, and it's always good to see you guys and speak NFL. And I'm excited for this one today because when I saw a certain list last week, I was like, "Listen, Kadeem, I gotta have a say on this. I need to say something."
Hey, we appreciate you. Just wanting to vent, I guess, or be heard on our podcast, on our platform. Kadeem, if you could have not only just his list ready, but our list as well, mine and yours. But before we hold on. Before we get into the list, because everybody knows we got this. I don't want to call it a dream, but we got this conversation of Go Time MMA, bro. And we have to mention this. The last time you were on the show, Charlie, it was UFC 274.
270. Yeah, sounds about right. Yep.
And we went into bonus time, and we had our predictions, right?
We did.
Come on over to bonus time so y'all can hear some more Go Time MMA at the end of this podcast. At the end of this episode, because it's gonna get really real back then for Go Time MMA too. But this is Go Time Dolphins, man. And Charlie alluded to this list of a quarterback ranking. And I'm like, bro, you could come get some of this too, bro. You not saying nothing. Like, a matter of fact, I wish we had this queued up so we could just go look at the Twitter thread. Like, yeah, bro, if you want to come on, I got you. So before we pull up your list, man, what was, what? Yeah, what just off the top, what was your gripe with what was going on the quarterback ranking list of Go Time Dolphins?
So some parts of your list I thought were really accurate. Aaron Rodgers number one. I think. Can you pull
up my list, Kadeem?
Yeah, let's pull up a list.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta have something for the viewers to look at. And if you're listening to the audio version, check us out on YouTube at Go Time Dolphins. Shout out to the winner of the Jalen Waddle jersey, Kayla Weston. Shout out to everybody who won the free giveaway. All you guys had to do was just send us an email. And we're looking out for everybody, man. Free giveaways on here on Go Time Dolphins. Go Time giveaways. The next giveaway is coming up too. It's coming up real soon. We got Javon Holland jerseys coming. We got Dolphin slides coming. We got a PS5 coming. Matter of fact, it might be 2 PS5s if Charlie Wilson want to get into some of this. If Charlie Wilson's going to be the quarterback for Kadeem, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm securing 2 PS5 giveaways for Go Time Dolphins. But I'm just saying, what's up, Kadeem? Look like you struggling over there.
I've got your list alongside Sherrod Steve's. Your solo list I can't find right now. So are you okay with the list alongside Sherrod Steve?
Sure. I mean, Sherrod Steve gonna have to come up. We're gonna have to have the part 2.5 anyway. But yeah, so my list, Charlie, what was the problem, bro?
Like I said, Aaron Rodgers number one, right? You got a lot of hate for that, flack for that. I don't disagree with that. I mean, he's not number one on my list, but if you said to me, You have one quarterback for one game on your life. Who are you putting the ball in the hands of? Aaron Rodgers will be up there for me. I think he's the most talented passer I've ever seen. But Charlie, listen, I like you. You're a cool guy. I'm glad I'm on the podcast. I'm glad I've met you. But listen, man, you just can't put Tua ninth ahead of guys like Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. I mean, come on, man. Listen, I understand you should be excited about Tua. You should. Tua has shown he's an accurate passer when he has protection, and he's shown at college that he's capable of doing great things. We haven't seen that in the NFL yet. We've seen Justin Herbert throw for 5,000 yards last year. Do that with an average offensive line to bad. Good receivers, average tight end, but he's just gotten better and better and better, and he's shown us that he can play at MVP level. Tua hasn't shown us that he can play at above average level yet. So I just don't see how you're putting Tua ninth.
So we're just talking about the NFL, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forget what someone did in college, just what they've shown us in the NFL, right?
Yes, sir.
Charlie Wilson, bro. Hey, I appreciate that nice stuff you said right before you said the bad stuff. I appreciate the nice stuff, bro. Because I rock with you too, bro. And Go Time MMA is a real thing. Like, we really might,
sure.
like, yo, and I'm getting itchy. You know what I'm saying?
Me too. Let's start it, man. Let's go.
I like it. I'm gonna be real with you, Charlie. I don't know what you drinking in that cup over there, but you on one, bro. Like, help me understand this. You are a sports journalist. You know what I'm saying? This is your profession. I need you to articulate why is Kyler Murray not why is Kyler Murray, who I have basically for the argument, for the purpose, for the sake of this argument, Deshaun Watson was not on this list when I made it. So we'll just have the rankings as is. So Kyler Murray is ranked 10th and Tua is ranked 9th. Why should Kyler Murray be ranked ahead of Tua? Not even everybody else, just Kyler Murray. Why should he be ranked above Tua?
So for one big reason why Jalen Hurts is even high on this list at all, because Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray can run the ball, and that is so valuable for quarterback position. Kyler Murray could be an average thrower like he is. I think you make a case for in the NFL for being comparable throwers, Kyler and Tua, if not Kyler a bit better. But Kyler also runs the ball at an incredibly efficient rate. Tua doesn't do that. Kyler has elevated teams. He's had terrible offensive lines, as Tua has too. But we've seen Kyler play at a above average level for 3 years now. At times, we haven't seen Tua do that at all. Really, we've seen Tua have moments. We've also seen him look below average, pedestrian. Not playing at 100%, which is fair. But we just haven't seen him play anywhere near Kyler Murray's standard, in my opinion.
Before you respond to that, I am looking at the final NFL rankings, offensive line NFL rankings from last season.
Yeah,
the Dolphins 100% finished last. There's no two ways about that. And the Cardinals are ranked. So I'm currently at 18, and I don't see the Cardinals. 15th. Okay. So the Cardinals have a, I guess, slightly above average offensive line. Finished 15th, and then I'll give you the teams around them. I'll give you from 10 to about 17. Chargers 10th, because you mentioned Justin Herbert.
See, again, what are these metrics off? Are they off sacks? Because I think sacks are a terrible way to judge offensive lines.
To give you credit,
because there's no way the Chargers have a top 10 offensive line. It's just not. That's just
not Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers don't have a top 10.
So Chargers were 10th. Again, I don't know what these are correlated. How the Chargers got 10th in this list. Chargers 10th, the Jets 11th, which. Okay, fair enough.
Where's the Bengals on this list? This is going to tell us a lot right here.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up.
This is going to tell us a lot.
20th.
All right. So that's right. This is the consensus NFL's.
Yeah.
This is whether we like it or not. How they came up with it. We did know that the Bengals were 22nd at one point, and they ended the season at 20th. We still ended at 32nd, which could have been 50 if there's 50 teams. But I mean, how they got the metrics, we don't know. We don't know, but we do know. And again, Sherrod Steve isn't here to defend himself, but Joe Mixon rush was the third. I should be able to say this by now, as many times as I've said it, but he was the third. He ranked third in rushing in the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
Third best rusher in the league.
Third best rusher in the league. Shout out to my co-host. You know what I'm saying? Fist bump through the what you call it. But look, he was the third best rusher in the league. Mm-hmm. That has to be accredited to the O-line, bro. O-line has to get some type of credit for it. Whether they're responsible.
Run blocking,
right. Yeah. Whether they are poor at pass blocking or because Joe Burrow's so nice at passing the ball, I don't care how you do it or say it, the O-line has to get credit for that. Same thing with the Chargers or whatnot. If we broke down all the tape, we don't know, but we dare because there's different criteria. There's the eye test, there's pass blocking, there's win losses. You know what I'm saying? What does it look like? That's eye test, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So ultimately, we didn't have to do the work. A whole bunch of people did the work for us, and this is the list that they came out with, which is the consensus list. But you were about to say something, Kadeem. I'm sorry.
I think it was just that for now. Because Charlie finished speaking, or Mr. Walter finished speaking. I know you were going to respond to what he said, but I want to just raise that offensive line because he said that the Cardinals had a bad offensive line, and according to PFF, and again, PFF is one of those things where when their stats back up what you want to say, you use PFF. When their stats don't back up what you want to say, then PFF is useless and stuff like that. So I just wanted to add that in there before Charlie Touche responded. So Charlie Touche, the floor is yours.
We're not gonna go too long. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, everyone knows Dolphins have the worst offensive line. Now, my thing is, not only did Dolphins have the worst offensive line, and I agree, Kyler Murray is a better runner than Tua. Like, you never gonna get no pushback from me for that. Matter of fact, bro, it was before we started this podcast. I wanted to trade the house for Kyler Murray. Tua was in college. We were I think we moved on from Gase. Matter of fact, we just moved on from Adam Gase. We were about to get a new coach, and I'm like, yo, let's go get Eric Bieniemy and pair him with Kyler Murray. Trade the house and go get Kyler Murray, and Eric Bieniemy is your head coach. You're gonna have good results. Like you might not have the best defense in the world. There's no telling what the locker room looks like, the culture. I don't know, but I do know you're gonna get W's and your offense is gonna be sexy. I know that much. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I'm happy with that. I was happy with the Flores hire. Changed the culture of the locker room. Something that Gase tried to do, but got fired for in the process. Cool. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on board with Kyler Murray. 100%. I like Kyler Murray, bro. I think he has some tendencies that I will not, speak of on this podcast that I'm not a fan of when it comes to leadership. You know what I'm saying? He has some issues with leadership, and I wouldn't want the leader of my team to have leadership issues. He's not my quarterback. I wanted him, but he's not my quarterback. I was more than happy to have Tua as my quarterback. All that being said, if we had a wide receiver ranking on this podcast in the next 3 minutes, which we're not, me, Charlie Wilson, and Kadeem Simmons will say DeAndre Hopkins is a top 3 receiver in the league. Tua does not have nothing like a top 3 anything in the league. DeAndre Hopkins was the security blanket for Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray looked like the MVP when Hopkins was healthy. He was on his way to being MVP. True. So look what happened when he didn't have Hop. He vanished, just disappeared. So that's not even a Tua argument. That's just all against Murray. You know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna go too far on Kyler Murray, but I'll let you push back on that.
No. I agree that Kyler is a very flawed quarterback. I mean, the guy is 5'10". He can't look over guards. He's got to move out of the pocket to throw the football. Russell Wilson has the same issues. But my thing with Kyler is, in spite of being that small, he still does throw the ball reasonably well, maybe as good as Tua, if not better. And the running aspect is just huge. Jalen Hurts is a terrible passer in football. He's really, really bad. But he led the Eagles to the playoffs. Like, he's going to be a good quarterback for a few years because he runs the football. I mean, look at him. I know fantasy is fantasy, but look how many points he gets because he's going to run the football, get first downs, and keep the offense churning. It's such an important part of playing quarterback nowadays.
Kadeem, you got your list on deck?
My list?
Yeah. You see how we're having a quarterback ranking list episode, and Kadeem really doesn't want to show his list again? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I asked, like, yo, just make sure the list on deck because we're gonna have to go through a couple of lists. But before we even get the Kadeem list, because I would like for you to say whatever you're gonna say about my list, then mention Kadeem's list, and then we could go the rest of the episode evaluating Charlie Wilson's list. Now, I don't even got no adjectives for it, but yeah, I had the adjectives for it. But back to my list, and I'll be fair, Kyler Murray was ranked one spot lower than Tua. So that's an argument that we're just nitpicking. It's like, all right, it's close. It's extremely close. But let's go to Justin Herbert. This is my list. I had Justin Herbert 14th. I had Tua 9th. All right. I believe Tua's top 10 quarterback in the league. I believe Justin Herbert has the luxuries of the luxuries of the luxuries. Why is that such an egregious take, according to Charlie Wilson?
Justin Herbert does have a nice offensive system around him. It was in the first year with his new head coach, who was a defensive coordinator, not an offensive mind. He was.
Hold on. Who are you talking about? Anthony Lynn?
Yeah. No, Anthony Lynn's not the OC anymore. It's
Oh, you talking about this is the coach from last season?
Yeah.
Okay.
New OC this year. He was the only quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards. He improved very much so from his first year. He's so dynamic. He rarely makes mistakes which kill games. I just think he's a really efficient quarterback. I don't see any aspect that Tua is better than Justin Herbert right now. I just can't understand your take on that.
Can't understand my take on it. Well, we got your list yet, Kadeem?
Yep.
All right, we'll talk. Let's agree on something and chop up Kadeem's list. Let's just tag team Kadeem's list. Even though you already said you didn't have a issue with Kadeem's list, actually.
So Kadeem's list from, I would say, 11 to 20. I think, I agree completely. To be honest, like almost to a point. Even the top 10, I don't have any. There's one I've got a big issue with.
Listen, what you got?
Russell Wilson annoys me a lot. He's a flawed quarterback. He's a really weird personality. I'm quite glad that we've traded him, but Russell Wilson is a lot better than Kyler Murray. He's a lot better than Kyler Murray. I know it's only one place, but come on, Kadeem.
No, I think, you go back to look at, and I know you don't want to go back and look at last year's Seahawks season because it's not fun. What Wilson, it's weird because if I say Wilson wasn't himself, then it kind of means you've got to look at everyone else in terms of what they've done in their career entirely. So if you take that into account and you look at Tua and you look at what he's done in Alabama with all those players, then there's a genuine justification to say, how is Tua so low on anybody's list? Have you not seen what he's done? And I will go, yes, fair enough. So, like we said, we're not looking at college tape. We're looking at what they've done in the NFL. What have you done for me lately? And I just think at the time of doing this, I just thought Wilson, he's still a top 10 quarterback, but he was like just down the bottom, if that makes sense. And it could be a situation where you could put him above Murray, but I still think if he's above Murray, I wouldn't put him above anyone else in the top 8, if that makes sense.
Dak Prescott.
Okay, yeah, and I guess Prescott probably the only one. And if anything, looking back at it now, I'd probably move Prescott down to 8. I have.
Hold on, why are we moving people? How'd you? What you mean? Looking back, what you mean? There's no games that have been played. Why are we moving people, Kadeem?
I said if I were to make a change, but I'm not going to make a change. Same way when you asked me where would you put Deshaun Watson, that's moving people.
No. That's inserting someone. That's not moving no one. That's inserting. That's insertion.
So when you insert Deshaun Watson, which is something I don't want to say right now, everyone else moves. So people move. People have to move for that. I understand what you're saying. You're inserting someone, but you insert. I hate that word so much from discussing Deshaun Watson. But you place Watson on this list, and all of a sudden Russell Wilson is no longer a top 10 quarterback because of the way the list works. And again, if anything, you'd probably start moving other things around because I don't know. Darnold probably would be the 33rd best quarterback in the league last year. But again, that's neither here nor there. As Mr. Charlie Wilson said, he basically agrees with my at least 11 to 20. So you can try and have, go time MMA, tag team and elbow drop off the top of the cage, but it's not going to be on this list. I'm sorry, Mr. Charlie Touche. I'm sorry.
All right, let's not have everybody waiting. Let's pull up the guest list. The guest list. You're a guest list. The guest list. I like it. Let's pull up the guest list, man. Charlie Wilson's quarterback ranking list and see what we're gonna, how this friendship is gonna end.
Look forward to this. I really do.
Shout out to Kadeem Simmons.
What about that now?
No, I was just saying, shout, you got a lot of work to do, bro. I don't have that onus on me, so shout out to you. Patrick Mahomes is first on your list. I don't think no one's gonna really trip there. Aaron Rodgers, for everyone listening to the audio version, it would really help if you went to the YouTube at Go Time Dolphins. Share, like, subscribe, just for the homies. But I'll call them out. Patrick Mahomes, 1. Aaron Rodgers, 2. Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Joey Bullets, number 12 from Tampa, Justin Herbert, Russell Wilson, Matt Stafford, Lamar Jackson at 10. Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill at 15. Matt Ryan, McCorkle Jones, Trevor Lawrence, Jameis Winston, and Jalen Hurts at 20. Baker Mayfield, Jimmy Garoppolo, Tua Tagovailoa, Tagovailoa at 23. Daniel Nichols, Justin Fields, Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Carson Wentz, Geno Smith, Davis Mills, Mitch Trubisky, Sam Darnold at 32. Where you want to? I'll let you start. You the guest. What you? This is the list. This is it.
Yes, sir. So I know you guys have Dak Prescott rated a lot higher than I do, and my reason for having him lower is the same reason Charlie Touche might be a bit down on Justin Herbert. Dak Prescott has one of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best wide receiver cores in the league, some pretty good tight ends, and he still performs all right. But whenever we've seen Amari Cooper go out, or we've seen CeeDee Lamb go out, or we've seen Tyron Smith, the left tackle, go out, he's played badly, like quite badly, actually. He's had 2 years of bad play. I think Dak Prescott is hugely elevated by his offensive line and by his weapons, and we'll see what he does this year without Amari Cooper. If you want to talk about my top 3, I think Patrick Mahomes is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Aaron Rodgers, close. I think he's the best passer I've ever seen. And Josh Allen's just a dynamic quarterback. I don't really want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Like, guy makes my skin crawl. But he's, again, a really talented guy.
There's a lot of I've ever seen coming out of your mouth, bro. Do you mind sharing your age, bro? You don't got to, but I'm just saying, if you got to be kind of young for the ever scenes to keep coming out of your grill like that, bro. I'm just saying, like I was around for Marino. I've seen Marino throw the ball. I remember Brett Favre. You feel me? I still remember Joe Montana. Like, that's not that. I'm just saying. I'm gonna be real with you. Highlight me. Like I like Dak. I think Dak Prescott is actually a dude. I think he's a dude. But we're gonna just get to it, bro. Like, help me understand how Justin Herbert is 7th and Derek Carr is 13th. Please help me understand this.
So very quickly, is this going off the conversation between you and Shira and Steve, where it's like, how can someone ranked in this situation?
I just want to hear his logic. This is his list. I just want to know how anyone, and I think you might have Derek Carr ranked lower than Herbert too. Like, I just want to know how Herbert is ranked higher than Derek Carr. I just need to know how.
Because he's better.
How?
Yards, touchdowns, moving the football.
He's on a better team, is he not?
Yeah, he's on a better team, but it's not. I mean, it's not all about wins and losses. Quarterbacks can do so much. Justin Herbert shows a lot more talent to me. Derek Carr, for about 4 years, was literally petrified to throw the ball downfield. He was such a dink and dunk quarterback. He was so boring to watch. And he's got a cannon of an arm as well. He's got a huge arm, and he never used it. He was really frustrating to watch. When he got the Alabama kid who unfortunately killed Henry Ruggs, he started throwing the ball downfield and he started to look better. But it's only been a year or two of him looking like an improved quarterback. He's still very flawed. He's still not taking the Raiders far at all. Maybe one playoffs in 7 years. I think Justin Herbert's quite clearly a better quarterback.
I don't think it's clearly, because if it was clearly, like, we wouldn't be having this discussion. It was clearly he'll be, you know what I'm saying? It's a discrepancy of this one side of the list with the other side of the list. But I'm gonna be real. I have Derek Carr genuinely higher than Herbert. Not substantially higher. I'm just saying I believe Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Here's my thing. If you looked at my list, I believe every single quarterback from my list could have taken that Justin Herbert Chargers team last year to the playoffs. Every single quarterback. This is not a shot, and we don't have to pull my list up. I remember Kyler Murray was ranked above Justin Herbert. I think Lamar Jackson was ranked above Justin Herbert. Dak Prescott ranked above Justin Herbert on my list. Derek Carr ranked above Justin Herbert on my list. If we know that the Chargers were a better team than the Raiders, and he didn't take that team to the playoffs, what's that say about the quarterback?
Very quickly, do you remember where you had Derek Carr in comparison to Justin Herbert?
I think one spot higher.
Yeah, you got Derek Carr at 13 and Justin Herbert at 14.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm not making it up. I think every single quarterback, and since you're looking at it, can you just give us 13 through 9 on my list?
13 through 9. So Tua at 9, Kyler Murray at 10, Lamar Jackson at 11, Matt Ryan at 12, Derek Carr at 13, and then Justin Herbert at 14.
I'm just saying, I think every single quarterback, including Matt Ryan. Where Matt Ryan on your list? 16. Cool. He's 3 spots lower on your list than he is on my list. I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Now, I would also argue everyone on my list that's ranked above Herbert, with the exception of Tua, and this is being genuine, with the exception of Tua, everyone would trade for. Everybody on my list above Herbert is a trade candidate. Like, teams are trading for this guy. Everyone. A team just traded for Matt Ryan. Like, we're trading for Matt Ryan. They traded for Matt Ryan.
Charlie, if the Chargers rung Miami today and said, "Do you want to trade Herbert for Tua?"
I just said with the exception of Tua. I did say that. I said with the exception of Tua. To me, if I'm ranking the list, and obviously I'm gonna say this again, no one's wrong. This is just opinionated. It's all subjective. I get it. I'm just saying, it doesn't make some sense. It doesn't make enough sense to me. It's just all I'm saying.
So like the whole a team would trade for Matt Ryan, I think is quite disingenuous, because one, the circumstances, like it's not like the coach were like, we need Matt Ryan to save us. It's like the Falcons messed up by trying to get the Deshaun Watson. Matt Ryan was like, I'm leaving, and there weren't many teams in the NFL who wanted to go and get Matt Ryan. The Colts stunk it up with Carson Wentz at quarterback, weren't in a situation to go and get one of the guys in the draft. And when you're looking at the guys who are available, they weren't going to get Watson. And then everyone else, like, you're not really going to do anything. The way this coach team is set up, it just needs someone to not be stinky. And I wouldn't say, to me, that wouldn't make Matt Ryan a top, in your eyes, 13 quarterback. He's just a veteran guy who can probably do enough to win this season. But let's be honest, if they could have realistically got, I'm looking at your list right now, outside of Carson Wentz, Kirk Cousins, Winston, Lawrence, like they would have gone and got basically anyone in the NFL. But Matt Ryan was a serviceable quarterback who was available, which is why I think they got.
I'm saying, you said Matt Ryan was leaving. He wasn't. Where are he going? He on the contract. Matt Ryan was leaving. Like, he's not going nowhere.
So when I say he was leaving, he made it clear to the Falcons, the way you treated me, I want out. And the Falcons are like, okay, fair enough. Now, I know there's the whole thing about, I can't remember who we discussed this about, but it's like, when you're on a contract, you ain't going nowhere. I think it was running backs and the franchise tag, or playing on the franchise tag in general. But Matt Ryan, I wouldn't, me personally, obviously you can, if you believe this, fair enough. But me personally, I wouldn't turn around and say that the coach got Matt Ryan because he was a dude. The coach got Matt Ryan because he was an okay quarterback who was available. Like, I'm pretty sure they would have got Baker Mayfield had the Browns wanted to trade him.
I think I'm taking Matt Ryan over Baker Mayfield all day, twice on Sunday.
Oh no, hold on. I didn't say that you wouldn't take him. I'm saying I think the Colts would have taken him. Now, obviously, in your eyes, yeah.
Well, why would they take him? Well, if Matt Ryan's better than Baker Mayfield, if it's the consensus that all three of us got Matt Ryan better than Baker Mayfield, why would the Colts not take Matt Ryan over Baker Mayfield?
Because
I think sorry, Kadeem.
Like I say, in that way possible, we aren't GMs. Like, so us saying, and to be fair, it's one of the things where Baker Mayfield is just going through a really tough time at the moment. But there's probably a few GMs that's like, listen, we believe we can turn Baker Mayfield around, a guy who took the Browns to the playoffs, and yet you had all the pieces around him. But again, you give Baker Mayfield that coach offensive line, that coach running back, and a few pieces, he'll probably mess around and at least get you near the playoffs. Probably a better chance than Matt Ryan if Baker Mayfield was available. But he wasn't. So at that point, it's like, who was available at the time? Matt Ryan was the best of a really, really bad bunch.
And I think for certain situations, right, like I say, we all have Matt Ryan above Baker Mayfield. I'm a Seahawks fan. If you ask me which quarterback would I prefer on my team for where we are now, I'm taking Baker every day of the month because I believe in Baker's upside. Do I believe if for one game he would be better than Matt Ryan? No, but I'm looking long term. So it's different debates on the spectrum there. When it comes to the Colts, right, they're a win now team, but they just need a quarterback to be, like Kadeem said, serviceable. A bit like Jimmy G for San Fran, right? You want to come in, not make mistakes, try and get the ball where it needs to be, and Matt Ryan can do that for Indianapolis.
All right. So we're not going to address McCorkle Jones being ranked higher than Tua on your list. We're not going to address it. But holler at me about Trevor Lawrence. If this is based on just NFL, like you said, this is just NFL. What did Trevor Lawrence show you that was better than what Tua has shown you in the NFL?
Trevor Lawrence's this is kind of a cop-out. Trevor Lawrence's last game was really, really... Trevor Lawrence's last game was better than any game Tua has played in his career. And obviously, I'm going off college a little bit, right? Trevor Lawrence at Clemson was outrageous. And listen, I understand it's NFL, but we've seen 2 years of Tua and 1 year of Trevor Lawrence in objectively maybe the worst NFL team ever under Urban Meyer, right? It was an absolute disgrace what was going on in Jacksonville. A horror show. I don't think you can really judge Trevor Lawrence off that year, but he had his moments when Urban Meyer left the team where you thought, okay, which quarterback do I want right now? I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
Wait. So Charlie. So like, Mr. Wilson, I love you. I don't even know who the Jacksonville Jaguars played week 17 or 18 last season. I can guarantee Tua in the NFL has had at least one better game than that. I can guarantee it. And off the top of my head, I can definitively say, and tomorrow, so my day off is on Wednesday. I'm going to watch that last Jags game. Yeah, I can guarantee that game is not better than Tua's rookie season against
Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Yeah. The Chiefs game where the Chiefs won because Tyreek Hill was mental, but Tua played legit, and that Cardinals game where if everyone says that Tua can't, have comeback wins, that game showed. And again, I remember on the podcast where we were like, no matter what the score is, just keep Tua in. He needs to learn how to win comeback games. So I'm literally looking at the Jacksonville schedule now. 26-11 win over the Colts. And to be fair, stats-wise, I don't really care. For those who do care, Trevor Lawrence finished for 23 completions from 32 attempts, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. I think even stats-wise, Tua's got better games than that. So,
stats-wise, sure. I'm talking about the throws, what he was able to do.
And that's fine. Like I said, I haven't seen this game. I'm going to watch it back, and this is weird to say that, given that I haven't seen those games, but I'd be very hard pressed to say that Trevor Lawrence's performance in that game was better than Tua's game against the Cardinals and
I think the Chiefs, Tua's Chiefs game was the game, and
for
my dollar, yes, I'm gonna tell you why. Because he didn't have nobody to play with. He didn't play with nobody and took Patrick Mahomes to the 4th minute of the 4th quarter. Like, how you do that with nobody on your team? So I'm sorry, Charlie, bro. I can't give you a 1-2-3 Cancun game at the end of the season where both teams are going to Cancun when the clock hits 0 that Trevor Lawrence supposedly balled out. Cool. I'm just saying. We said no college, bro. I like Trevor Lawrence and I like Justin Herbert too. Everybody made me look bad when I have to talk about these quarterbacks. I love Trevor Lawrence, actually. I love Trevor Lawrence, but he was trash. He threw 17 picks. He had an upside down ratio. He had 12 touchdowns. Tua has never had an upside down ratio in the NFL, bro. In his 3 years. Last but not least, Trevor, you just said the team that Trevor Lawrence played on and the Urban Meyer stuff around the building. And we just had episode after episode after episode of Brian Flores making the team walk around the facility in a single file line, bro. I'm just saying, if we could compare the two. You know what I'm saying? So McCorkle Jones being ranked above Tua, that's one thing. We're not going to kill you for that. But I cannot, for the life of me, give you Trevor Lawrence just based on, and there's a lot of criteria. There's gameplay, there's wins, there's arm strength, there's accuracy, there's leadership. There's a lot of criteria. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence does outdo Tua in some of those categories for sure. I'm not an idiot. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be real with you.
No, you're not.
But based on just one season of Trevor Lawrence, this man stuck up the joint, bro. And he's projected right now on the way to Dumpsville. He's on the way to Busville. I don't think he's gonna be a bust. I don't. Just as it's projected right now, the way it looks, he looks like he's on the way to being a bust. I don't believe it, but I'm just saying. So
I think most, if we asked, let's say 100 diehard NFL fans who will have a better season next year, I think most of them would say Trevor Lawrence over Tua, personally.
Oh, I'm ready for it. I like
it. So
I just want to say, Go Time Dolphins fans, listen, I get it. You think, who's this guy? Who's this English guy coming across as a Tua hater? I don't hate Tua. I like Tua. I'm a bit disappointed by what I've seen. I don't think he's going to be a bust. I just think there's some good quarterbacks in the league. I know McCorkle Jones and all. Mac Jones had a good season.
Hey, the man's name is McCorkle, bro. It's not Mac. His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. That's it. It's McCorkle Jones. From now on my podcast, on this podcast, I'm only going to call him McCorkle. Like, you can call him Mac, but I'm going to call him McCorkle. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, I don't dislike Tua. That's all I want to say. I just think I want to see more. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I think, going back to our initial discussion between me, Charlie, and Sherman Steve, and this is so weird, but a lot of it is, it could be a case where I've ranked Tua so low because, again, I know what he can do. like it's difficult when you're watching these quarterbacks to, be legit unbiased and not think about what they've done, in a past life, I guess. And seeing Alabama Tua, seeing that swagger, seeing the throws he was making, seeing when you got guys like Terrell Owens saying that's my quarterback and all that kind of stuff. And then what we saw on the field, and again, even with everything we know, for me personally, and again, I'm not, my opinion is my opinion based on what I saw. I know for a fact that you two have been, NFL fans a lot longer than I have. Mr. Charlie Touche can talk about Joe Montana and stuff like that. To me, that was just a guy I kind of heard about on American TV shows and stuff. But when I watched, some of the quarterbacks do stuff, I'm just like, oh snap, damn! Like even something like on the Sports Center, like how many in the past 2 years, how many Sports Center worthy throws has Tua had, or even Sports Center worthy plays compared to, in the nice way possible, nearly every other quarterback in the league. Now, I'm not saying that makes all these other guys better, but when I talk about why Tua's ranked so lowly compared to other guys, it's because there's certain, to me, on a more consistent basis, especially someone like Justin Herbert, I'm just like, oh snap, damn. Like, and that's not me saying I want Herbert over Tua, but I'm just like, oh snap, that's impressive. Which is what I said when we done this thing. And I know Charlie's going to say something.
I wasn't going to say that. I'm just saying I think you do want Herbert over Tua. It's okay to say that, Kadeem. You can say you want Herbert over Tua.
Thank you for giving me permission to form an opinion, and I still wouldn't take Herbert over Tua. Like,
so why is he ranked higher than Tua on your list?
Okay, just because I wouldn't take Herbert over Tua, that doesn't mean I'm not going to have, Tua ranked higher than Herbert. Remember when there's all this stuff about all these quarterbacks that the Dolphins might trade for, Aaron Rodgers, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure, and okay, I'm not even going to say I'm pretty sure. Weren't there quarterbacks that you have ranked higher than Tua on your list who you was like, I still take Tua? So your list, your list, yeah?
My list.
Yeah, and you have Tua and 9th, yeah? Are there not quarterbacks in the top 8 who had the Dolphins try to trade it for you and said, no, I'm taking Tua over those guys?
That wasn't a question, Kadeem. The question was, you said I wouldn't take Herbert over Tua. Meaning, given the opportunity, if we just had to start everything over, you wouldn't take Herbert over Tua. Not would you trade for Herbert right now and lose assets and worry about cap and stuff. We're not talking about that.
No, don't do the whole assets thing.
Yo, you said you wouldn't take Herbert over Tua, so that means.
But okay, but me saying, so you took that to say if you start all over again, draft and stuff like that, that could still mean, okay, right now, if a trade comes underway, would you trade Herbert for Tua?
Say I wouldn't trade for Herbert. Say that.
But why? Because me saying I wouldn't take Herbert over Tua covers everything.
It doesn't though, because I wouldn't, because you brought up the example of me not taking Aaron Rodgers. I didn't want to take Aaron Rodgers on a 2-year deal.
Sorry. Say that again. You wouldn't what?
I didn't want to take Aaron Rodgers for 2 years.
Thank you very much. Which is what I said. I wouldn't take. So no. So you used the exact same words, but there was no mention about assets or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. So, but you still said he's still ranked above Tua though.
Yeah, Herbert. and you got Rodgers above. You have Rodgers above Tua, but you just said you wouldn't.
But I have Tua above Herbert though.
But it doesn't matter. So for me, I have Herbert above Tua, but I'd keep Tua. You have Rodgers above Tua, but you'd keep Tua,
which is arguably the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. So why is it? Oh my days, Kadeem! How can you have Herbert above Tua? But
it's almost like
let me finish.
You just asked the question. I was going to answer.
Yeah, but let me finish the question in general.
Finish the question.
How is it so egregious that I'd keep Tua over Herbert, who I don't have Herbert as the best quarterback in the league, but you'd keep Tua over your best quarterback in the league?
Because it's the same Jimmy Garoppolo argument of Jimmy being last on my list and Rodgers being first on my list and Herbert and Tua being in the same conversation. Tua is not in Aaron Rodgers' conversation. Herbert and Tua are they came in the league at the same season. They're one pick away from each other. They're comparable. I'm just saying. I mean, look. I'm not tripping. It is what it is. I like to have fun. It's cool. I think you on one though. I think Charlie's on one too. What's up with the England boys? Y'all is some stuff legal over there? Y'all could, and y'all work in the same building. Y'all don't.
We've never met before, like in person. Like Charlie, Mr. Wilson. I've met Mr. Touche more times than I met Mr. Wilson. But again, if Tua and Herbert are comparable, wouldn't it make more sense for you to kind of I'd take Tua because they're comparable? To say that Tua isn't in the conversation to Rodgers, but still keep Rodgers, to me is oh my days. How
because he has 2 years left.
But okay, so he has 2 years left, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're also saying that in the next 2 years, Tua's going to win a Super Bowl with the Dolphins.
That's exactly why I would not take Rodgers for 2 seasons, because I believe Tua's going to bring a Super Bowl within the next 2 seasons. I'm not saying nothing crazy, bro.
So then just take Rodgers as well.
Wow.
Why would I do that?
Because
Tua's already here.
Because he is the best. He's your best quarterback in the league.
All right. So I'm be real. I'm be very, very clear.
That's cool.
I believe. And how long have I said this, Kadeem? Not recently with Tyreek Hill and McDaniels. I believe Tua will win a Super Bowl on his rookie contract. I genuinely believe that. Like, I've been saying it since before the podcast. Like, before we had a podcast, we're going on our 3rd season. If you build a team right, you can have a middle of the road quarterback and win a Super Bowl. You should be able to. I don't believe Tua's a middle of the road quarterback. A lot of people do. I think he's above average. So I'm like, yo, Jimmy Garoppolo took a team was on a Super Bowl team, was one pass, Emmanuel Sanders missed pass away from winning a championship. That was Jimmy Garoppolo. The same Jimmy Garoppolo that didn't score like a passing touchdown in 3 playoff games. It was the wildest stat. I can't remember it off the top of my head. That's the same Jimmy Garoppolo. You know what I'm saying? So I believe Tua is better than Jimmy Garoppolo by far. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is actually like the 33rd ranked quarterback in the league, not even being funny. That being said, why would I move on from somebody for 2 years, which is Aaron Rodgers, although he is the best, when all I have to do is put the right pieces around Tua? If you put Aaron Rodgers on our team last year, we were not winning the Super Bowl. I don't believe that. I just don't believe it. I think he would have got smacked like Tua did with that O-line the same way.
Okay,
Aaron Rodgers is comfortable behind his line.
What about, Charlie, but if you had one season, right? Let's say this year you trade for, I don't know, one of your players just like, any player, right, just grows into a superstar and that elevates your team to, okay, we can win this year. If you've got a chance to get Aaron Rodgers for 1 year and win the Super Bowl, would you not consider it? All
right. Let's use this year because we have a pretty good team this year.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to make a playoff run.
Me too.
I think we're going to make a playoff run. I actually think it's going to be one of those second round. It's going to where our fate will be decided in the AFC Championship or the game before the AFC Championship. That's where it gets real, and it's going to be like, hey, you got to gut it out. But we're going to make it to the game before the AFC Championship this year. Whatever happens after that, I'm just along for the ride. I'm going to be real with you. So if you said, hey, you can have Aaron Rodgers this year for that, I think Aaron Rodgers wins us the Super Bowl this year. You see what I'm saying? I think if Aaron Rodgers was on this team, we're winning the Super Bowl.
So
this season.
So why would you not make that trade?
Because it's a trade. That's why that goes back to the Kadeem thing. Like, yo, is it just, I would take Aaron Rodgers over Tua. Yeah, we will all take Aaron Rodgers over Tua. But if we're talking about cap and trades and future, who's going to be our quarterback after Aaron Rodgers retires in 2 years? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sit for another 20 years and find us another quarterback when I know we have one now. You know what I'm saying? So if there was a conversation of bringing Aaron Rodgers and make Tua sit behind him, that's a different story. Like, I'm not all for that either, but this is hyperbole. This is hypothetics. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to move on from a franchise quarterback like Tua just to bring in Aaron Rodgers when I know Tua can win us a ring. That's all I'm saying.
I think my issue with this argument is that when you talk about Tua winning a ring, you say in the next 2 years.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's not like, so it's not like you're saying, you know, you can win in 2 years, 4 years, 6 years. You're saying in 2 years.
Yeah.
So if you're limiting yourself due to being on a rookie contract to a 2-year window, and that's what you've said, because of the rookie.
No, I didn't say only in the next 2 years. I'm saying he will get us one within the next 2 years.
But so me being pedantic, then me being Kadeem, why are you going down this road for? You know what I actually mean. But me being pedantic,
go ahead. Do you?
Yeah. So me being pedantic, you've said he's gonna win a ring in his rookie year, and he's got 2 years left.
Rookie contract.
Sorry,
yeah.
We've never really discussed after that because, like,
which is fair. Yeah.
So using that logic, why not just get Rodgers? Especially when you've said Rodgers wins the ring this year. So it's like Tua wins it in 2 years or a 2-year window. Rodgers wins it in a 1-year window. And I'm sure there's a lot of fans, probably even Rams fans, given what they just won, who said, I don't care about 10 years, 20 years, because I've got a ring. I've witnessed the ring.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not a GM. And even, I'm sure if you really ask the front office as well, it's like, I don't care about 20 years because you can't take my ring away from me. So if you can, I guess, get Rodgers in now and have that 2-year window, why does it matter in 5, 10, 15, 20 years?
I didn't say nothing about 10 or 15. I just said 2. So within the next 2 years. So you telling me I waited 20 years for this Super Bowl. We'll just call it 20. 20 years for this Super Bowl. I can't wait an extra year, which is next year at the most. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait. I'm going to turn everything upside down for Aaron Rodgers. You see what I'm saying? Instead of waiting that extra 1 year.
But that's fine. But the Dolphins aren't coming off a Super Bowl win 20 years ago. Are they not?
What's that have to do with what I'm saying right now?
As in, like, it's one thing saying, okay, we might reach the Super Bowl, but it's nothing winning the Super Bowl. And the Rams won the Super Bowl. So again, Dolphins haven't won the Super Bowl since.
Yeah.
So again, not even reaching there in 20 years' time, but we've won it. And I'm sure we've had this conversation.
So I'm going to ask you this question. Because I kind of see what you're trying to ask, and I thought I answered it, but I'm asking to you this way. So you're telling me if I told you Tua is going to win a Super Bowl within the next 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Or you can have Aaron Rodgers, right? And we think he's going to win a Super Bowl this year. What would you say? Like, this, obviously, neither one are facts. No, they're not facts. They're not guarantees. But I believe Tua is going to win us a Super Bowl within the next 2 years. You're telling me you're willing to risk everything that we built and the future 5 years, because it'll be who knows what it's going to look like after Aaron Rodgers leaves. You're telling me you're willing to risk that instead of trust Tua with being above average quarterback for 1 year of Aaron Rodgers or 2 years of Aaron Rodgers?
I think in that situation, and again, not to. Okay, I'll give an answer. I'd probably take Rodgers, but in also at the same time, I don't care. Both situations give me a Super Bowl ring. It's just what do you do after. But again, I get it. You trade for Rodgers and cap all that kind of stuff. Then you have to worry. The flip side to that, if Tua wins a ring, do you not think you're going to offer some money to the point?
Oh, he's going to ask for everything.
I was about to ask this.
So then again, it's like, okay, so the Rodgers situation is you have to try and find yourself a new quarterback and probably other pieces because you've ruined your cap to some degree and you've got no pieces to replace it. Whereas the Tua situation is you're probably going to have to get rid of players because you've ruined the cap because you've got to pay Tua because he's won the ring, but you've got a quarterback. And I guess in this scenario, Tua has ascended himself to the point where you can start having average wide receivers because Tua's now a dude.
For sure.
And
so you're gonna ask Charlie, is that the exact same question you're gonna ask, or you wanna add on to that?
I was gonna say, like, obviously you have Tua in your top 10, right? Let's say this year, I think we all definitely agree. Tua is gonna make a jump. He's in a great system. Maybe two of the best receivers in the league as a duo. Let's say Tua gets, I don't know, 25 touchdowns and 5 picks from this year, right?
Yeah.
He can ask for it to get paid.
Yeah,
and not only can he have to get paid, he could get upwards of 42 million.
Yeah, it's gonna be astronomical amount of money.
Would you feel comfortable giving Tua that money after?
So here's the thing, and I'm gonna be clear, and I'm gonna answer both of y'all questions in the same answer. Joe Flacco bet on himself. No one on this podcast believes Joe Flacco is an elite quarterback or even was an elite quarterback. I will be on this to be candid with you guys. I thought Joe Flacco could win the Super Bowl. I think Ryan Tannehill is good enough to win the Super Bowl. It's just about the pieces you put around him. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of quarterbacks on our list where it's 32 quarterbacks in the league. If I just had to give a number, I think 20 of them can win 25. All right,
I'd say about 25.
You know what I'm saying? They can win Super Bowls with the right pieces around them. You know what I'm saying? In the right system, right pieces around them, I think they can win Super Bowl. Joe Flacco bet on himself, came back and got the craziest, the most. It probably was the most any football player ever got paid at that time. You know what I'm saying? Because he played on the franchise tag, didn't get paid like Lamar Jackson not getting paid right now. You're like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna bet on myself. So Joe Flacco bet on himself. Should have had 2 Super Bowl rings if it wasn't for TJ Hushman's out of drop. We're not talking about that. So no, Joe Flacco wasn't worth the money, but he won you a Super Bowl. He is the face of the franchise. You're happy with him, and you think he can get you back there. It'll be harder to get back there, but at least he got us one. So to answer both of your questions, I do believe Tua is going to win us a Super Bowl within the next 2 years. Will it be difficult after that? After we pay him? 100%. But I believe he's a top 10 quarterback now. Like, imagine when he has the pieces around him. For everyone who said, well, how come we don't see Alabama Tua? I'm going to give you the answer right here, and we don't even got to go no further than that. You don't see Alabama Tua line. There's no Alabama line in front of Tua right now. There was no Alabama receiver corps. There was no Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith. He never had that. He had one fraction of it last season, and that dude broke a record in Jalen Waddle. He had one receiver last year, and the receiver broke a record.
2.
So now he has 2 receivers.
And now Mike Gesicki exists. He didn't.
No. We're talking about receivers, though. We're talking about receivers. I love Mike Gesicki.
Mike Gesicki's a receiver. Like
Mike Gesicki is a tight end, bro. Like we look, if we're talking about receivers, we're talking about receivers. I love my man. Y'all making me look.
No. Mike Gesicki is a receiver.
But what I'm trying to say is what I'm saying. Hold on. But if you look at the dynamic of the Alabama receivers, Ruggs, Jeudy, Devontae Smith, Waddle, they're all speedsters. They're all Z's and Y's and X's. Mike Gesicki is not a Z, Y, or X. Like literally, he's not that. He's not a speedster. He's a intermediate route runner. So Tua was successful with deep balls. And Jalen Waddle had the craziest stat, had like the dumbest stat. All of his touchdowns averaged 46 yards in college with Tua. It was the wildest stat.
Yeah,
again,
that's not Mike Gesicki, bro. That's all I'm saying.
But maybe this is me being pedantic. Tua excels with speedsters. Let me finish. But you didn't say speedsters. You said receivers. Gesicki is a receiver.
He's a tight end, bro.
Let me finish. Not only is he a receiver, of every guy you mentioned, who's got the best hands?
Mike
it's Gesicki.
Yeah.
As a receiver, Mike Gesicki has the best hands, but he plays tight end. Mike Gesicki calls himself a big slot receiver. That's basically what Mike Gesicki is. You're not asking him to block. You're asking him to run routes and catch the ball. And who runs routes and catch the ball? Receivers do.
Did Mike Gesicki have his best season as a Miami Dolphin last year? Outperformed all of his. Yes, he did. Mike Gesicki's last year, he outperformed all his numbers. Every single number that Mike Gesicki had in his career was exceeded last year.
Yeah, you're right. You did, yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, so when I talk about Tua's receivers, I'm just talking about his receiver. All right, we can talk about his tight end and say, all right, we got a nice tight end too. But I'm saying he only had one receiver, bro.
Like to me,
he only had one receiver.
But no, he only again maybe it's just a pedantic thing. And in the comments, let me know if I'm being stupid. I think Charlie Wilson agrees with me. Charlie Touche doesn't. I understand what you're saying. Mike Gesicki is a tight end, but you're making it seem like tight ends are offensive linemen who can't catch.
I got something for you, Kadeem. When we did the best receiving core in the league, how come we didn't add Mike Gesicki in the receiving core conversation?
We started to. But again,
it's the receivers, though. We had a receiving core conversation.
Yeah, but I think we were talking purely about wide receivers. And that's why I said, if you're talking, let me finish. And that's why I said, if you're talking about, what does Tua excel in? Tua excels in speedy guys.
If we say skilled players, it's a different ball game because now you're talking about running backs and tight ends.
Yeah.
But we're just talking about receiving core. That's all we're talking about. I just don't understand how we didn't talk about Mike Gesicki in the receiving core, but now we're going to talk about Mike Gesicki in the receiving core now. I'm just saying, at the end of the day.
Because we were talking about wide receiver duos.
Trios.
Okay, but again, even then, wide receiver trios.
Mike Gesicki is not a wide receiver to be in a trio.
But I never said he was. I said he's a receiver. Again, pedantics.
Hold up. But if Mike Gesicki was in the wide receiver trio conversation, if he's a receiver, like you're saying, he should have been in the conversation.
But again, like you've done it again. Listen to what you're saying. Wide receiver receiver.
Kadeem. All right. And I'm not doing this just for podcast sake. Let's be real.
Yes, I'm being real.
When we had the receiver conversation, the trio, who has the best trio in the NFL? We had a whole podcast on it, right?
Yes, trio of wide receivers.
All right. So we didn't mention Mike Gesicki. Now, what you're saying, all right, you're saying receiver. He's a receiver. So that constitutes as a skilled player. He's not a wide receiver, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. So when I just said Tua's receivers in college and I just mentioned all their names, how all of them are super fast. Yep. Gesicki don't even fit the mold of none of that. And I'm not, and Gesicki is a solid, we need Gesicki. I'm on record. We need to pay Mike Gesicki before we pay Xavier Howard. Straight up. Like Mike Gesicki is more of a Miami Dolphin than Xavier Howard is. Like, and now I'm gonna get crap for that. But I love Mike Gesicki. You know what I'm saying?
You too.
But look, let's just take it to bonus time, man. Unless you want to wrap it up, Charlie?
No, I agree. Mike Gesicki is an excellent tight end. I do agree with Kadeem that he's a receiver in a sense that he's not a traditional tight end. But I see what you're saying too, Charlie. It's pedantics, like Kadeem said.
Yeah, hey, I'm okay admitting I am being pedantic.
Hey, but I'm just saying, when everyone says, "How come we don't got Alabama Tua?" and I'm gonna say, look at Alabama's wide receivers. Look at Miami Dolphins wide receivers. He only had one of those. He didn't even have. He had Preston Williams, and Preston Williams was hurt. Parker was hurt, bro. He didn't have nobody. He had one wide receiver.
When you say it like that, I can't argue with you.
All right, I'm just saying. It's just a fact. You're making it sound like I'm making an excuse for dog.
No, but again, the whole thing was when you say it, he only had one wide receiver. It's like, yes, he only had one wide receiver. When you say he's only had one receiver to throw to, I'm like, well, no, because he threw to Mike Gesicki.
And he exceeded all his numbers, though. Like, yeah. I'm not, everyone
knows.
Again,
but then it becomes, so he had two receivers to throw to. But again, if we're being pedantic, which I can be a lot, if I'm being pedantic, or if we're being pedantic, yes, Tua had one wide receiver to throw to in Jalen Waddle, but he had two receivers or two guys to throw to, two targets. Whenever we talk about, when guys were going down, especially before Jalen Waddle was there, guys were going down, but he still had Mike Gesicki to throw to. And that's why it's like last year when Williams was down, Devontae Parker was down, Tua had two guys to depend on and lean on, Mike Gesicki and Jalen Waddle.
He did for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't say he didn't.
Yes, but again, that's what his whole thing.
I was literally talking about receivers though. Like I didn't say anything about a running back. I didn't say anything about a tight end. I'm just saying we were talking about receivers. That's it. So I'm just saying, like you trying to add something that wasn't a part of the conversation.
I'm not going
to. We talking about breakfast. You talking about brunch? I'm just saying. You talking about that's a whole different meal. I'm
not doing it again. Bonus time.
Hey, I'm just saying, if we talk about David Carr's receivers, we're not talking about Darren Waller when everyone knows Waller is one of the best tight ends in the league. Who is his receiver? Who's Derek Carr's wide receivers? Can anyone name one of them right now?
Hunter Renfrow. Dude, stop doing it.
All right, cool.
Dude, stop doing it.
Hold up. But who else can you name after Hunter Renfrow?
Yeah.
So Hunter.
Notice no one's saying Darren Waller because he's not a wide receiver. That's my point.
No, but he's
not a wide receiver.
No, but again, okay. If you say to me, if you say to me, Kadeem, name the best 10 wide receivers, I'm not gonna put a tight end there. Do you know why?
I'm just saying. I put
but then if you go, okay, Kadeem, who are the best receivers in the league? Then you can start going, okay, Kelsey, Kittle, because they are receivers.
No. They're tight ends, bro. They're tight ends. They're not wide receivers, bro. They're not, bro. When I just said,
I beg you, give it to
name Derek Carr's wide receivers, bro. Like we can only name one.
Okay,
between the three of us,
at this point,
we can only name one.
Charlie Wilson. Have you noticed what he's doing? He says again, name Derek Carr's wide receivers. I'm not gonna name a tight end as a wide receiver.
So why we gotta throw Gesicki in there? We're talking about wide receivers
again, right?
Because he catches a football.
No. Again, if you say name someone's wide receivers, I'm not going to name a tight end. Same way if I say to you, Charlie Touche, who are the Miami Dolphins cornerbacks? You're gonna go, okay, Xavier Howard.
You're not gonna throw a safety in there.
Pardon?
You're not gonna throw a safety in there.
No. If I say name the DBs, you're gonna throw safeties in there.
So why are we talking about a tight end when we're talking about receivers?
Sorry, say it again, sorry.
Hey.
No. I'm being legit. I'm being legit. Say it again.
We appreciate Charlie Wilson coming on to the show. We got bonus time coming. You know what I'm saying? Reach PLC, sports journalist came, blessed us. We about to get into some more of this. I really do appreciate y'all rocking with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I like these debates anyway. But for real. So for Charlie Wilson, Reach PLC's Charlie Wilson. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
Before you guys get into Go Time MMA, can I share 2 pictures with you?
Yeah, we Go Time MMA is later. It's the end.
So the first picture is, I've got to load it up first. This was taken a few hours after meeting Mr. Charlie Touche for the first time. This is me outside Wembley Stadium.
Let's go.
Kiko Alonso jersey still going. This was before the Dolphins played the Saints and just got completely embarrassed. Same hat. I didn't even mean to do that. I've had this hat for a long time to the point where it's falling apart, but I don't care. My favorite Dolphins hat. I wear it all the time. So, Charlie, this is how you met me. What, 5 years ago?
5 days. 5. It is 5. It's like 4 months away from being 5 years.
Yeah,
like the anniversary. So yeah, it was about 5 years. Kiko Alonso. I still got the picture. You should have. You got the picture?
I think it's on Facebook. And
while you're sharing pictures, I'm gonna send you that picture, and you can share that too. But yeah, man.
Other photo I want to share quickly. And again, I was going through old emails, and I found this photo. I'll be interested to know if either of you know who this is.
Ooh, that's is it Torrey Holt?
No. Is that Gerald Everett?
No.
Everett?
Yep. Bruce?
No. It's not Bruce. Isaac Bruce. That's dang, bro.
Is it Isaac?
No. It's not him either. Isaac Bruce.
I can tell you the teams he played for.
All right, let's go. Give me the teams. I like
so. Obviously, this was him with the Rams. He was drafted by the Rams.
Yeah.
He also played for the Packers, the Patriots, and the Chargers.
Oh, the tight end. Oh no! Don't tell me. Damn it! I know who it is. Oh.
I'm
Can you give me his first initial, his first name?
Oh. Oh.
What you said? You gave it to us?
No, yeah, L for Lima.
Oh, his surname, first initial.
K.
LK.
Yeah.
No, I'm grits. I give up.
Yeah. So Lance Kendricks.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got it.
I would have got that. God damn it.
Lance Kendricks. So this would have been. I wouldn't have been the year I met Charlie. Maybe like the year before, the year after. But yeah, really cool dude.
You looking pretty clean in that pic, boy. I didn't know you could do that.
Again, there's podcast Kadeem. There's loads of this. This is work media Kadeem. And yeah,
I didn't know you could do that, Kadeem. I thought you only wore sweaters.
The fitted suit, I like it.
You got the pic that I sent you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
We're gonna show the picture of the night me and Kadeem actually met.
Oh, you guys met for the first time here.
Like this is the place. This is the meeting of the minds. This is it. This is where I was gonna throw an analogy in there, but I don't want to.
So you guys knew each other before this picture?
Never.
No.
This is where we met. This is the beginning of the beginning. Let's see what we got.
Hey.
Yeah.
My guys.
That's the beginning of Go Time Dolphins. We had no idea. And it was, man, that's crazy.
Same hat. It's mental.
I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. Boy, you putting on some weight, boy.
Oh, I know.
Hey, boy, you putting on some weight, man. That's why my dog is in the gym.
Thank you very much. It's needed. It is definitely needed.
Charlie, that is a nice coat, my guy.
Hey, appreciate it, man. I don't know where that's at right now.
It's funny because the coat I'm wearing, I have no idea either. I keep meaning like I think I've lost it somewhere, but I keep going out. It's like I really want to wear that. It's just, especially like it's a summer and it's like that cool breeze in the evening. Yeah, but yeah, that's how we met. Go time Dolphins.
Dang, that's crazy, bro. I need to find that jacket. Dang, it's like every time I come back from London, I come back lighter. Like I don't have something that I left with. Matter of fact, hey Charlie, the last time I came back from London, I was in the Uber. The Dolphins had just lost to the Jaguars, and I'm at the airport. I got my Dolphin hat on. I have pneumonia at the time, non-COVID pneumonia. You know what I'm saying? I was in the back seat going through it, could barely talk, and I like, you know what I'm saying? And I thought the Uber driver was gonna kick me out, like, yo, do you got COVID? But I didn't have COVID because I had to test negative to get back on. So I'm dying in the back seat, and I get out the car, and I just thought that the Uber driver was like perturbed, like, nah, man, you coughed the whole ride up here. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of COVID. And I get out the car, me and LB, and the Uber driver says, "Hey man, can I have your hat?" And I got my hat. I'll just take one of these Dolphins hats. I got my hat. I'm like, yeah, man, you can have it. And I give it to him.
Wow.
And listen, it was a Dolphins hat. And I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of didn't want to curse him with it. Like, bro, once you're a Dolphin fan, you're a Dolphin fan, bro. I don't know if you want this smoke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you want this. And I gave it to him. I tried to save him, but he like, thanks. And he put it on the dashboard. He said, I like the team. I don't know. The dog has a thick accent. I don't know where it's from, bro. But yeah, man. Whoo. And bro, y'all boys got me worked up, man. I don't even know what we was talking about, bro. Talking about receivers.
When I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am going to I'm going to check out. I'm going to leave you two to talk about MMA.
Hey, Kadeem, 1 second. I haven't told you yet, have I?
No.
Dolphins, week 1.
You going?
They play the Patriots, and I'm going to be there.
Hey, Macarena. All right.
Yeah.
Yo, Charlie and Charlie in the same building at the same time. Charlie.
I'm in Orlando for 2 weeks, and got a hands on a Dolphins ticket.
2 weeks in Orlando?
Yeah, I'm in there for 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm in Disneyland for 1 week, and then 1 week in Miami.
man. Hey, you gonna get on with media?
No, I'm just there to have fun, man.
Dang, bro. Hey, yeah. Look, I'm not in the club no more. You're gonna have to holler at my cousin if you want to be a super gripling. You know what I'm saying? But that's not me. But I when you come down, man, I'll show you around. You know what I'm saying? We'll top it up. I wasn't planning. I went to the season opener last year, and we played at New England, and I went to that game. I wasn't planning on going to this game, but I don't know. Maybe I'll change it up. I have no idea. But I know for sure we'll chop it up, man. For sure when you get down here, bro.
I look forward to it, my guy.
Hey, Kadeem, you not gonna hang around for Go Time MMA?
I'll be here, but just imagine I'm the guy in the background, and again, I'll pop in at some point and throw an old school name. It's like Kadeem
Kimbo Slice. Kadeem about to drop Kimbo Slice like that. Kadeem, you remember Kimbo?
Yeah, he dead now, isn't he?
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
About
2016.
Yeah. It was like 6 years to like 3 weeks ago to the day.
Yeah.
But hey, so UFC 274, I think it was. Was that the Gaethje Oliveira?
274. Yep, that's right.
Bro, we had predictions. Do you remember your predictions?
I don't know.
It's all right. I remember them. Don't worry.
Okay.
So look, so we had a parlay going, and we're like, what do we think is gonna happen? And for the record, we like all those fighters. Like we you like Gaethje a lot. I like Gaethje, but someone's got to win. It's a fight. You pick Gaethje. You pick Rose over Carla.
Yep.
And you pick Michael Chandler over Ferguson.
I got that one right.
You did. Flip side is, I pick Oliveira. I pick Carla.
You did.
And I pick Michael Chandler.
And I thought you were crazy for picking Carla. I thought that was a terrible shout. And
bro, listen to this. And I'm gonna send you the link when we sign off, bro. I'm gonna send you the link, bro. Not only did I pick those fights like that, when you watch it back, it's like, matter of fact, our first Go Time episode, we're gonna have a flashback. Like, yo, these dudes know what they're talking about. I picked Michael Chandler, and what I said was he's gonna knock out Ferguson in a way that he's gonna have to question himself and like, yo, he should retire after this knockout. It was gonna be a bad knockout. You remember the knockout?
Yeah, front kick.
Crazy. Then I said the Rose Carla fight was gonna be so close that it could be a draw. Do you remember the Rose Carla fight?
Yeah, I remember it, but I don't want to. It was the most boring.
Exactly, bro. Like it was like, yo, I said it was gonna be weird, is what I said. I thought Carla was gonna win some more takedowns, but she won enough.
Mm-hmm.
Last but not least, I called the Oliveira fight. And what I didn't say on the podcast, which I thought I said, was he was gonna finish Gaethje, but I didn't call it on the podcast. But those are some crazy picks. And then we just had 275 just passed. What you thought about 275?
I mean, listen, you mentioned Shevchenko being. I mean, that was such a. So Valentina Shevchenko beat Talia Santos. Me and Charlie both think that Valentina was basically she was given a result. She lost that fight. She lost that fight. The main event. You want to talk about the main event? That was probably the best fight I have ever watched. That was incredible. I mean, 42 years old, Glover Teixeira. I tell you what, if I move like that when I'm 42, I'm going to be extremely happy. What an absolute warrior. Like, you watch those fights and it's just like, it means more to them than just like, winning a belt or winning some money. Like, they're putting it on the line, literally like no quitting either of them. It was just so crazy, man. The beating they gave each other and the heart to come back. So many times you thought this is over, and then the other guy comes back and you think, oh, it's over again. And
yeah, the other way. It's over the other way. Yeah. Bro, that reminded me of Holly Holm, Miesha Tate. I'm gonna tell you why. Not how good the fight was, but Holly Holm won that fight, that Miesha Tate fight, and then got tapped in the last minute of the fight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And she never recovered. She never regained her crown. And Glover won that fight. Although it was a battle. It went back and forth. Yuri had his moments. Well, I thought he was going to win. Prohaska was doing this thing. I like, yo, Prohaska's he's going to win this fight. And then he started hitting him with the body shots. I like, oh, Glover's gone. And then Glover came back. I'm like, oh, by decision, Glover's got this fight. 30 seconds left in the fight. Glover gets tapped. I'm like, that's crazy. Because Tom Poe was going to tap, bro. Tom Poe was going to lose.
What do you think about, I mean, Kadeem probably as well, but the Charles Oliveira, like, so I don't know if you know about this, Kadeem. Charles Oliveira was the champion.
Hold on, wait. Was he the guy who missed weight and had to give up his belt?
Yeah, by like, what was it? A pound, less than a pound, like half a pound. Like, it's so crazy, man. Like, you miss weight by half a pound and you lose your belt.
Go toilet.
Won the fight.
Once to the toilet, let one go and then come back. Like
literally, yeah, literally. It's just nuts.
Daniel Cormier was talking about, oh, the commission should have let it slide. I'm not with that. The rules are the rules. No. Like, oh, it's only a 0.5. He should have just slapped it off the scale and said, we got to fight. I don't like that, bro. I don't like it. Like, yo, you the champ. You're not even supposed to be cutting it that close. You had an hour to lose a half a pound, and you didn't lose a half a pound in an hour. What you was doing for an hour, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't like it. Like, and I'm not. I like Charles. I think he's gonna lose to Makhachev, but I like Charles. Who Islam versus Charles? Who's gonna win?
Islam. Yeah, that guy's different. I said last time, Charlie, these wrestlers are going to take. They're taking over the sport. They are. It's a different game now. These guys from Dagestan, like, they make it look so easy. But saying that though, Hamzat's last fight against Gilbert Burns, that didn't look easy at all.
I look at Hamzat a lot different. We're gonna cut it off here. We're gonna actually. It's time to really do Go Time MMA, man. It's time. But yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on, Charlie.
Anytime, man. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I carry on watching all the episodes. I enjoy, and I appreciate coming on.